Hey guys, I'm Ivan, and this is devlog number 2 in my survival game, Pixurvive. So I got a comment on my last video from Laser with some recommendations, and while I am not going to make any changes to the player to make it more human, since I think that's the whole point of it being a pixel, although I think I am going to add an option later where the player can choose their own color, but the slight jumping does seem like a nice touch to the game to help distinguish the player and mobs, so I think I could try that. I did try experimenting with some of the other colors, but none of them just really seemed that good, so I think I'll just stick with yellow for now and add a color picker later on. I then created a basic jumping animation for the player. I'm not sure how it'll look when he jumps every time he moves a block, but if it doesn't look good, then I'll have to remove it. So then I added jumping to the code and tried out with just jumping to the left, and it did seem pretty good. And then I added it to all 4 sides of the player, although it's not very noticeable when it's moving up and down, but when it moves left and right, it is a little more interesting than the previous movement. Laser also recommended me to optimize the game by deactivating the objects that were further from the player and only activating the ones that were near the player. So then I wrote code for that. Currently the game runs at around 70 to 90 FPS when the screen is maximized. When the game is minimized in the Unity editor, it runs at around 30 to 40 FPS, since the editor also takes resources. So when the game is maximized, it is a more accurate depiction of what the actual FPS is like, and it'll be higher once the game is actually built. As you can see right now with the optimization, while minimized, it's running at around 60 to 80 FPS. Also, just for comparison, the max that my laptop could run a Unity project while maximized would be around 150-160 frames. Now when it is optimized and the screen is maximized, it runs at around 130-140 FPS, while previously it was like 70 to 80. As you can see, everything is just gone except for the objects that are near the player. I haven't optimized the rabbits yet, but I'll do that. Now the rabbits also disappear once they are far away enough. Then I made it so that once the player's hunger bar runs out, the HP starts decreasing at a rate of 1 every 2 seconds. Now whenever the player breaks a resource pixel, he also uses up some of his hunger bar. I then fixed a bug where the rabbits would stop walking if they got deactivated and then reactivated. I then decided to add another creature to the game, which would be a sheep. It takes up 2 pixels and is slower than the rabbit. It also doesn't run away from the player when the player gets close. The player can also hit it 3 times in order to kill it and restore some hunger. Since the sheep is 2 pixels, I decided to rotate it whenever it turned, since it would just look better than constantly being upright. I spent a lot of time trying to adjust and fix the rotations. And now the sheep works, and it's also being generated across the map like the rabbits. I then thought it would be cool if there was also a wolf that could hunt down animals and also the player. After several hours of working on this, I finally got a wolf that kinda works. Every once in a while, the wolf will just try to hunt down whatever it detects first. Otherwise, it'll just wander around until it is hungry again. And then to make it easier to understand what the different pixels are, I decided to make this pop up with the name of each pixel once the player hovers over them. And yeah, that's about it for this devlog. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.